Hi YouTube, welcome to my Pokemon Emerald Open 5 draft analysis. Okay, so this is a draft board which we're put into pools of 8 players to draft Pokemon. Can I open up the pool without spoiling my team? I don't think I can. Uh, yeah, draft pools aren't even on this document anymore. Okay, oh well. But I got the third seed in my pool, so and basically 2 picks would go before me. Since I had a guaranteed max point Pokemon, which is really good. Two would probably get off the board, which ended up happening. Metagross and Snorlax were taken, but instead of going either Raikou or Celebi, my first pick of the draft is Salamence. The reason why I ended up going Salamence is for a few. There's actually a few reasons. First off, Intimidate is a really good ability. Intimidate lowers attack upon switching. Like I'm not supposed to be a wall or anything. I mean, these stats aren't built for walling; they're built for offense. However, Intimidate is just an easy way to switch in and just provides lots of utility. And speaking of utility, Silence can run like a lot of sets. It can run like Toxic, Wish Protect to be like a wall. It could run like a Earthquake and Fire Blast to be like a mixed attacker and hit with both its stats. It could just be like Hidden Power. It could just go like Hidden Power Flying with a Choice Band, or you could just go like Leftovers and add like Dragon Dance and then Rock Slide is your last. Like, there's a lot of variation we could do with Solomon's because its stats are very flexible. It has a really high attack stat, but its special attack is also pretty good. Its speed tier is one of the best in the game. It's weird to prep into opponents because they're also likely to have a base 100. Because if we look at the base 100s, a lot of them are pretty good. Like Tentacle's good, Entei is good, Zapdos is good, Dodrio's good, Salamence is good, Jirachi's good, Flygon's good, Charizard's good, Celebi's good. So yeah, there's a lot of good base on hundreds. So I'm probably gonna have to speed tie a lot during the draft. However, I could easily supplement this with Dragon Dance, which they do not have. So yeah, that's why I chose Salamence my first pick. I do not regret this at all as my first pick. Very versatile, probably one of my favorite things to pick. And as Salomonce's partner for my second pick, I ended up going with Swampert. I could have went with Milotic as my bulky water, which I believe was taken like one pick after me. But the only thing on Milotic I don't like is that it only has one stab, and like that's just a problem. And also just Swampert, it could tank stuff from both sides. Milotic isn't really a physical wall; it's only a special wall. While with proper training, Swampert could do either. So that's part of why I chose it. I also like having Stab Earthquake because Earthquake is the most spammable attack in the game. That's just not a question. It is the most spammable attack in the game. You can also like just chip opponents with Toxic. You have Hydro Pump and Surf for your other stabs. You have Blizzard and Ice Beam for just ice coverage. Like yes, you have a lack of recovery, but you can easily supplement it with like Protect and Leftovers, which also helps with like Toxic. You want to stall opponents. Overall, it's just like it's a good mon. I like it though. It adds another 4 times weakness to the team, which in a format of Hidden Power, to be honest, I didn't think about it that much. But yeah, having a bunch of 4 times weaknesses in a format of Hidden Power, it just makes draft so much more. It makes everything so much more volatile. Where I have to scout out properly. Speaking of 4 times weaknesses, my Spiker is Fortress. That's my next pick. Yeah, there's not much to say about Fortress. It could spike. It's probably the best spiker left on the board by the time it got to me. It could explode because exploding is just it's basically just a one hit KO button. You get knocked out, but they get knocked out. You could rapid spin away opposing hazards, which is nice. And then the last move is really up to you. Like you could go toxic to deal with other people's statuses. You can go zap cannon to paralyze the opponent. I could go Sunny Day if I want to set up a fire type. I can go Protect just to scout attacks. What else is there on here? Nothing much, honestly. There's not too much you could do with Fortress. However, it's just nice to have. Like, It's so much roll compression with spikes, rapid spin, and then speed control with zap cannon and explosion. It's a really good mod. Again, another 4 times weakness, which I have to scout around. Speaking of fire types, does Arcanine get flash fire? It does, which to be honest, I almost chose it as my fire. Moltres would have also been a good option for fire, but again, another 4 times weakness, and also just it just lacks coverage outside like extra sensory, and hidden power. So I went with Entei. Well, Entei is well, actually, is it bulkier than Moltres? Yeah, it's bulkier than Moltres. It's the bulkiest of the fires. The Arcanine is Intimidate. Salmon sort of has it, so I decided that Entei would probably be the best. Also, Entei has Calm Mind. Then you can step Calm Mind and then Fire Blast away. Or if you want to do like a Solar Beam set with like Solar Beam Sunny Day, you could do that because Moltres doesn't have that. You can do like you can also just do like a stall set with like toxic, protect, roar. Yeah, just basically just to stack up damage. My whole team is like a lot of offense, but also like I could switch to a defensive team whenever I want. It has that good flexibility, which I like. And even though it's not the most noble thing, pressure is also really good just because, pressure lowers the PP usage, which, funnily enough, did come into play against my mock for my first round, where you had to stall out a Pokemon on a Fire Blast so my Fortress can wall it, which is really nice. I feel like pressure is really useful for that reason alone. And then my next pick, what Pokemon did I go with fifth? It was Breloom. It was Breloom. Okay, I wanted a grass, but just Breloom isn't a real grass offensively. I feel like I didn't want grass for the offensive value, but rather just for the defensive value. Which yes, Breloom's defenses aren't that good, but it's also just like immune to spores. It can you just switch it on water moves, which the rest of my team can't, besides Salmons. And then it also just has like a bunch of good moves. Spore is good utility to put something asleep. Focus Punch does a lot of damage. A Mach Punch is good priority. It also has like Swords Dance if you want to set up. It also just has like a lot of good physical moves like Sludge Bomb. You have every fighting move over under the planet. You have Double Edge. You have Hidden Power. Again, very solid mon. Also toxic. Everything is toxic. Yep, yes, but I feel like this is like a really good toxic mon, just because it spreads around stats. Like if you want, like if you spore something that switches, then you could toxic it, or just focus punch. Spore focus punch is just a really easy button to click. You just spore something, and either they don't attack, or your focus switch their switch in. So yeah, that's Breloom. That's really good. Now, the next three picks. I forgot the exact order I picked them in. Actually, I'm pretty sure Sableye was my next one. Yeah, was it Sableye my next one? Whatever, we're going to talk about Sableye. Okay, Sableye. It is not a good Pokemon, I'll say that right now. But however, it has utility, and utility is what I like. It has Taunt for preventing status moves to be used. It has Knockoff to remove items. It also has Thief if you want to do that as well. Actually, you have Thief, right? You can have Snatch, you can Torment, you can. What else can you do? You can Toxic, of course. Everything is Toxic. You have Recover and Moonlight if you want to heal. And then you just have like, your offenses aren't great, you can still click attacks. You don't have any good Dark Stab. However, Shadow Ball can do something. Like potentially lower defense. It's just a nice move to click into other ghosts for good damage, not like world beaters or anything. And if you want to do consistent damage across the board, you have seismic toss and Nightshade. So yeah, I could just sit there. Its main job is to be annoying, which yeah, it's really good for that. And also, you could just sit in front of psychics as well, so that's useful. And speaking of sitting in front of psychics, we have Grumpig next. Grumpig's only purpose on this draft is to deal with psychic types. Because my original plan for the draft with Haunter was really weak to psychics. So it is here to sit in front of psychics and to do something. Yeah, that's it. Like it has good coverage as Ice Punch, Fire Punch. It does a good Thunder Punch, yes. And then it also just have Trick is real nice for utility. It also has the aforementioned taunt. You can substitute. Also, it's a really good Calm Mind because you could just go like Calm Mind, and then you could just drop Fire Punch for Psychic. Or you could even drop one of these for like, you could run Choice Band and then Trick over one of your coverage moves. You trick something, then you use that to have an opportunity to Calm Mind. That's also another thing. Also, I'm pretty sure this guy gets Encore. Do you get Encore? No. Okay, let's ignore that. He does not get Encore. Grumpig is really bad. Okay, but yeah, no, dropping bad Pokemon. Really good. And then my final pick was Magneton. Because a well positioned Steel next to like a Ghost type could do numbers for me. And I also just want electric types to hit water types because Breloom doesn't really do that. So its main purpose is just to beat waters and steels. So you just go Thunderbolt, and then the rest of the moves you don't need. Like realistically, you're only clicking like Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave to spread speed control, and then that's like it. Like realistically, I could just bring these two moves to a set and still win. Though, of course, there's a bunch of other stuff it could do. Like it can, not a bunch of other stuff, but like it could toxic like most things. That's it. It could do Endure Slack, but everything under the sun can do that as well. So I guess that's Magneton. I mean, it beats Skarmory, which I need something to consistently beat Skarmory. So there we go. And that was my draft. I feel like you could see the image better right over here. That is my draft. There we go. That's my 8. Uh, I'm not sure if this draft is better than my last one. However, the Pokemon on it are definitely stronger. Uh, like just the core of Salamence, Swampert Fortress, and Breloom, it could pull in a lot of work, and then the other three, they have their own value as well, depending on the matchup. Though realistically, I'm bringing these three every time. Uh, though it's less flexible than my last draft, where I have 6 Pokemon I could bring every time, and then I could just sub one out for him only if I felt like it. But that's basically. I gotta say, I managed my points really well. Uh, it's it's a nice draft. I feel like it has a lot of potential. However, spoiler alert, it struggles into a lot of what this does. Skarmory isn't my favorite. Uh, Aerodactyl is really annoying, and etc. etc. I'm gonna upload my match for my first match tomorrow. I'm gonna do weekly match uploads, but yes, that doesn't align with the tournament because it's 2 weeks to do 4 battles and then go into bracket. However, I want consistent upload schedule, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, uh, see you tomorrow. I think hopefully tomorrow for my battle against Crying, which it's gonna be a tough matchup, but I believe I could do it. Salamence is very flexible, and well, I'm not gonna want to spoil too much, but my set there is very creative, so just expect something out of the box with Salamence. Okay, so that's the video. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, where hopefully I get to click Earthquake a lot. Bye bye.